What up you guys, Mr. Radio1235 here again, here for a brand new classic album review. We're going to be talking about London Calling by The Clash. There is no denying how classic of an album this is. Not even counting the music, this album cover is like so fucking famous. But this album definitely deserves its rightful place as a classic album. This album showed a change in sound for The Clash. They went from being a straight up punk band to where this album mixed up a lot of elements of punk, reggae, ska, pop, even some funk is in there too. This album is really filled with that many different genres. The Clash have always been a really good album band. Listening to like a greatest hits compilation doesn't really do this band justice. But either way you listen to them, they're still The Clash, and they're still fucking awesome, and they're still one of the most important bands that came out of the UK. But going on to London Calling, the very first song on this album is London Calling, and it's the song that everybody knows. Even if you have no idea who The Clash are, you've heard this song, I guarantee it, in some way or another. Like 1,000 bands have covered it by now. It's everywhere. It's all over the place, and it's a really great way to start off this album. The next song, Brand New Cadillac, is kind of like reminiscent of old 50s style rockabilly. It's got that rockabilly guitar in it. And it's like, I don't know, it sounds really 50s to me. It really sounds like the type of music that the band themselves probably grew up with. The next song, Jimmy Jazz. Holy shit. I fucking love this song. That bass line, man, that fucking bass line. Holy shit. It's one of those songs that just makes you snap your fingers and dance along to it, and it's like, Jimmy Jazz, and then those horns come in. It's just, ooh, this is a sexy song. Fucking love Jimmy Jazz. It's a good song. Hateful is really cool. The next song on this album, it has those really Louisiana Bayou type accordion sounds to it. I really like that because it mixes in with what is essentially just a classic punk song. So that's really fucking awesome. The next song, Rudy Can't Fail, has kind of like a reggae almost type sounding feel to it. The bassist of Green Day, Mike Dirnt, he owns a restaurant in Oakland, California called Rudy's Can't Fail Cafe. That's where he got the name of it from. It's a really good song. I really enjoy the music that goes in here. I really like the flow of this song, the melody. Side 2 of this album, Spanish Bombs and The Right Profile, both of those songs are kind of just more old-fashioned rock and roll songs. The next song, Lost in the Supermarket, is one that I find myself not enjoying that much. I find myself wanting to skip this song a whole lot. I think it's kind of boring, but to each his own, right? I really like the song Clamp Down. This one is just, once again, one of those like old style just punk songs. Looking for the clap down. And then the next song is written by Paul Simon and the Guns of Brixton. Paul Simon, he's busy being in Gorillaz live band. We all know that. That's fucking awesome. I actually saw them in New York. He's really cool. Anyway, he wrote the next song on this album, Guns of Brixton. He also sang on it. And it's probably one of my favorite songs on the album, honestly. Now we're getting into side 3 of this album. This is where Rangam Boyo and Death or Glory come in. Both of these songs also being big favorites of mine on this album. This is Rangam Boyo. Death or Glory is back being one of those classic rock songs again. It's just really, really good, all of these different styles mixed in here. And I mentioned that thing about ska before. The trumpets in this thing sound a whole lot like modern day ska music to me. And I think that's really cool for an album that did come out in the 70s. Coca-Cola is alright. It feels more like a throwaway track to me. The Card Sheet is a really interesting song on this album. The piano and the instrumentation on this song is really interesting. The next 4 songs on this album, Lovers Rock, Four Horsemen, I'm Not Down, and Revolution Rock, all of these songs seem kind of, they don't really stick out in my head as much. Four Horsemen is probably my favorite song out of that little bunch right there, but that's right there is kind of like the group of songs that I don't really care as much for. I still like them, but at the same time there's all the other songs on this album that I've mentioned before just like stick in my head, and I like music that does that for me. And then obviously the last song on this album, Train in Vain. Everybody knows it, everybody loves it, it's a good fucking song. It's a great way to close this album. So you've got like a ton of music on this album, like 19 songs. All being very diverse and different from each other. Nothing sounds the same on this album, and that's really cool. And for a band that was so secured in being like punk rock, I think it's really cool how they went this way. And I love The Clash. They're a really great band, and they're one of the most important bands in rock and roll history. If you haven't checked this out, get it. It's good, man. It's good. I don't find it perfect, but I find it to be very good and very important to listen to. Especially if you're just an all-around music fan, give it at least one listen through. I'm going to be back with something a little bit different. Me and my girlfriend filmed a video tonight, so yeah, that video will come out pretty soon. We're going to be taking a break from classic albums, then I'll get right back into it. I'm currently listening to 2 albums that I'm going to be doing classic album reviews for, so those are coming. Yeah, and hope you enjoy. Mr. 11235, I'll see you guys later.